Hi everyone, this is Brian with Anderson Pens, and today on My Favorite Pens, I want to take a look at the John Holland Saddle Filler. Let's take a look. Alright, so here we have the John Holland Saddle Filler. This is a pen that John Holland manufactured between 1906 and 1918, and it's a really unique filling system, and that's one of the reasons I like it. In addition to it being a John Holland, which is one of the best pens made during its time. But as you can see, it has this very unique contraption on the outside. So when everybody was trying to find a way to make a self-filling pen without copying Schaefer's lever filler, this is what John Holland came up with. And as we're going to explain in a little bit here, it's kind of an inverse lever filler. So one of the nice benefits of having the saddle on the pen is it won't roll off. Much like the Conklin Crescent, it won't roll off your desk. Even though this pen is clipless, with the saddle there, it stops the pen from rolling. Now, this is an early version of the saddle filler, and there are two versions. One is this style, which is a slip cap, and the other is a later version with the screw cap, and the screw cap had a very short cap. It was maybe half the size of a standard traditional cap. This is by far the harder of the, in my experience, the harder of the two to find. And as you can see, this one is in really, really near mint condition. It looks like it left the factory almost yesterday. You can see the Holland imprint is really very clear. The November 21st, 1905 patent date on there. But let's take the cap off, set that aside. As with all of John Holland's fountain pens, the nibs use a different numbering system than most other manufacturers. So on this one it says 12, not to be confused with other manufacturers who would make a number size 12 size nib, which would be very large. This is in fact a number 2 size nib devoted for a fountain pen. A number 2 John Holland nib would be a dip pen nib. So Holland put a 1 in front of their fountain pen nibs. So of course, let's show you how this works. We've got the saddle here, and then there's two little connectors here, and we'll try to do it this way. And the way this works is there's a bar attached inside the barrel on the bottom side. So it's going to be on this side, and as you can see here, there's a pin, and this pin runs through the pen, and the pin attaches to the bar. So when you pull up on the saddle, it pulls the bar from the opposite side and compresses the sack. So instead of a lever filler pushing down and compressing the sack, this pulls up and does the same thing. Requires a little more force because you kind of have to hold it here and almost push down on this side to make sure you get a full compression, and you do that a couple times with the pen and ink, and it will fill. Other words, it's much like a traditional lever filler pen. Friction fit cap or friction fit section, a very simple feed, no combs, nothing like that. This is far too early for that. On the bottom of the pen is numbered 3, so presumably that's the model number. I'm sorry, 2 is what this says here. Looks like 2. So a number 2 size pen. But really a neat piece of history. As you can see, it's normal length, almost Waterman number 2 size, and posted as with most vintage pens, reasonably long, akin to desk pens with tapers, which were long at the time. This is nice because it has no threads, so if one were to use this, you don't have to worry about the thread issue. slight taper at the end of the, starting actually partway down the barrel to the end of the section. But Holland nib's got a nice heart-shaped breather hole, and let's take a look. As with a lot of Holland nibs, it's got some flexibility to it. So that is the John Holland Saddle Filler. So there you have it, John Holland Saddle Filler. Be sure to check us out online at andersonpens.com, at our store in Appleton, Wisconsin, or at any number of pen shows nationwide.